I don't know if it's gotten colder out or my beard was just that thick.
Game 7.
Hello and welcome to Hawks Recap. This is week 2 of the 2016-2017 NHL season. Once again, the Hawks played 3 games this week, 2 at home, 1 away, so let's get right to it. Jump into the first game, which was at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. For the second straight game, the Hawks would come out flying in the opening frame, scoring 3 goals and giving themselves a nice little comforting lead to open things up. Kane, Rasmussen, Panarin all get their first goals of the year. It's good to see the KaneGB line starting to kick into high gear once again. The second period would lack the quantity of goals, but it would make up for it in the quality of goals. Marian Hossa gets his 500th career NHL goal. Congrats to him. That was a long time coming, and it's good to finally see him get that off his back. The Flyers would get a goal at the end of the period there to pull to within 3, but the Hawks go into the second intermission with a 4-1 lead and very much in control of this game. Played very well through the first 2 frames. Just a few lazy passes on the back end, but other than that, they were completely dominating this game. Now, the unfortunate thing we've seen with the Hawks over the past couple years here is they tend to coast a little bit when they get these big leads, and it can come back to bite them, and it did once again in this game. The Flyers would get 3 goals within the first 4 minutes of the third period, and we got a tie game. You know, for once in my life, I would love to have just a nice little relaxing game. Wouldn't that be fun? No, we can't have it. We can't have it. We don't know. Here comes the KaneGB line, put into high gear. Anisimov scores twice. Panarin scores another. Blackhawks get a touchdown in this game and win 7-4. The Hawks would give up 2 power play goals in this game, but they ended up scoring 2 of their own, so that kind of nullified their PK struggle. But once again, the PK unit not doing too hot. On to game number 2 this week, where the Hawks went on the road to Columbus, Ohio to face the Blue Jackets. I wasn't able to watch this game. I actually coach football in the fall, so we had a game Friday night there. That is kind of the reason why I don't have a big beard anymore, is we lost in the playoffs. I was growing it out for the playoffs, so trimmed it up, and that's kind of why I look a little bit different. So from what I could see from the recaps and highlights of this game, because I wasn't able to watch this, it seemed like the Hawks actually played pretty well. They outshot the Blue Jackets 34-28, but it seems like it came down to mostly the special teams. And the special teams in this game failed them. But once again, in broken record fashion, the Hawks would give up 2 power play goals. But those struggles would actually then extend also onto their own power play, where they went 0 for 4 for their own chances. And that combination led to a 2-3 loss to the Blue Jackets. A couple nice little things from this game, though, is Tyler Mott scoring his first NHL goal, and then Richard Panik continuing his hot start to this season. For the final game of this week and the latter half of their back-to-back games, the Hawks will come back home to Chicago and welcome a very young Toronto Maple Leafs team. Now, if you've paid attention to the Leafs at all this year, you'll know that they're a very young team, but a very talented young team. They have the first overall pick, obviously, in Austin Matthews. You've heard all kinds of stories about his NHL debut and everything. A couple other high-end draft picks. But a very exciting team to watch. So getting to see the Hawks play these guys was kind of a treat. It's kind of like a reminder, a little bit of a flashback of when the Hawks were kind of the young up-and-comers at the beginning of this dynasty that they've created, and the speed they brought. There's a lot of similarities, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun to see this Leafs team grow with all that talent this year and the next few years, and see how successful they become. But until then, let's worry about this game first. The Hawks were very much in control in the first period, controlling the puck a lot, and very much outclassing this younger Leafs team. Panarin would make a beautiful little Russian move and pass over to Anisimov for the first goal of the game, and things are looking really good. The funny thing about hockey, though, is that you can be playing poorly, but one bad bounce will get you right back in. It only takes one shot to score a goal, and that's kind of what happened. The Maple Leafs would score with 20 seconds left. This was the type of goal that the Hawks kind of gave up a lot in the first round of the playoffs last year against the Blues. It just kills the wind in your sails. It sucks because you're just dominating the first period, and you think, all right, we're going to go into the first intermission, we're going to be feeling good, and then boop, nope, all right, cool. It's similar to, if you watch soccer at all, a goal right before half. It can be a really kind of momentum changer. In the second period, Matthews and Nylander would kind of start kind of getting their feet a little bit wet, and they would create some quality opportunities. The Leafs and the Hawks would trade chances, trade goals, and then once again, right near the end of the period, the Maple Leafs would score. James Van Riemsdyk with the goal with just under 2 minutes to play in the second period, and the Leafs have the lead going into the third period. William Nylander would get his second goal of the game off of Austin Matthews' second assist of the game to open up the third period, and oh my gosh, the Maple Leafs have the dreaded 2-goal lead. Can't win with 2-goal leads, silly youngsters. But seriously though, it wasn't looking too good for the Hawks. However, if you've followed the Leafs a little bit, you will know that they've had trouble closing out games with the lead. Here we go. A little under 3 minutes left. Leafs still with a 2-goal lead. Coach Q pulls Darling from the net, gets the extra attacker on right as Anisimov puts the goal in, and guess what? It's a 1-goal game. Now it's a 1-goal game, and the funny thing is, I seem to have more confidence with the Hawks having a 1-goal deficit than when they have a 3-goal lead. It's kind of weird. They just never seem like they're willing to quit, and that's kind of one of the things I love about this team. Just about 30 seconds left. Richard Panik finds the back of the net, and we have a tie ball game, boys and girls. And with that, we get to see the Hawks play their first overtime game of the year. First chance to see how they do on 3-on-3 hockey. But we don't get to see a whole lot of 3-on-3 action because the Leafs actually commit 2 penalties in this overtime frame. But even with that advantage and a whole lot of great-looking chances, the Hawks cannot bury one, and we're going to our first shootout of this year. The captain, Jonathan Toews, would get it started off with a nice little snipe top shelf over Anderson's glove side. Darling would make a save on the other end. Kane would come back, nice little move, backhand, over the glove, hits the crossbar and out. Austin Matthews would then come with a little sneaky 5-hole shot under Darling's pads. The shootout is now tied. Breadman would then give the Hawks the advantage with a little shimmy shake before beating Anderson on the glove side. Then Darling gets beat, but somehow makes a kick save to keep Marner's shot out, and the Hawks escape this game with not only 1 point, but they escape with 2 points. I'm saying escape because they go 0 for 6 on the power play. They were losing 2-4 with less than 3 minutes left in the game, and somehow pull something out. But hey, they did it, and we'll take it. It's not likely you go 0 for 6 on the power play and win the game. You can't just fail that many times at those kind of opportunities. That was my impersonation of Steve Dangle's impersonation of Leafs coach Mike Babcock. So Hawks go 1-2 in the first week, now 2-1 in week 2. We're improving. Couple things to note from this week. The Hawks PK continues to struggle. They got to continue to find a way to play themselves out of this funk that they're in with that unit. I think they still can do it. It's taken longer than it really should. But you gotta believe that it's just not going to continue this way for the entire year. And I'd rather see them have these struggles early on in this season rather than in April, May, and June, if you catch my drift. Another thing is Panik continues his hot streak to start this year, and it looks like the KaneGB line is also starting to get hot a little bit too. After 2 weeks of play, the Hawks are 3-3 with 6 points. That's 3 points behind division-leading St. Louis Blues, We're no longer in last place. Things are looking up.